Good morning, everyone. In today's class, we will be discussing about Indian foreign policy. Okay. The reason why I have taken up this particular issue is that in yesterday's newspaper, okay, there was one article. Okay. So it mentioned about the recent changes to the Indian foreign policy, and accordingly, in what way India in its foreign policy facing challenges, especially with its neighborhood. Okay, okay, especially with its neighborhood. So there, the whole article paid attention. Okay, so here what I thought, I will not be completely taking up the IR issue here. I will be just taking up the specific portion of India's neighborhood and the recent challenges. Okay. So this issue you can use in GS paper 2. You know, there we have this international relations IR. In international relations, we have the topic called as India's neighborhood. Okay. So there, this particular information will be useful. Clear? So how I actually divided the whole lecture. If you see the whole lecture, I divided the lecture into like, first one is dimensions to foreign policy. Okay. Second one is segregation. So under this, what we do is like we will divide the Indian foreign policy into certain divisions. Okay. And the third one is, as we mentioned, this is the third point. Recent changes and associated challenges. Okay. So what are the recent changes? So within that, so we will be discussing about what you call factors. The next one is factors. Okay. Key fact, or you can mention like this: key factors. Key factors. Okay. That are playing a crucial role in Indian foreign policy. What are the key factors? Okay. Finally, conclusion. Okay. So this is the whole structure. Dimensions of foreign policy, segregation, recent changes, and associated challenges. Okay. And the key factors. What are the key factors responsible for these key changes? Okay. So, and finally the conclusion. Now let's come to the first one. The first one, what we call the dimensions. Dimensions of foreign policy. See, if you take any country's relationship with other countries, okay, it can be bilateral relation with two countries, or it can be trilateral, okay, or it can be multilateral. Okay, so with two countries or with three countries or more than two. Okay, so multilateral. So if you take any country's relationship with any other countries, okay, so the dimensions we will be broadly dividing into two. So one is the economic dimension, second one is the political dimension. But here you are dealing with another country. Okay, so here we use the word geopolitical. Okay, so second one is geo-economical. So geopolitical and geo-economical. So if you take one country's relationship, A's relationship with B, okay, or A's relationship with multiple countries, Okay, whatever you may take, but the dimensions broadly will be either geopolitical or geoeconomic. Okay, so geoeconomic means mostly the trade and commerce aspect. Okay, the trade and commerce aspect will be coming in the geoeconomic. So under the geopolitical, mostly the military. Okay, and people. Okay, so the people to people relationship and the military relationship. Okay, so these all aspects, and the government to government relationship, government to government relationship. So these all we will be discussing another dimension called the geopolitical dimension. So the trade and the commerce aspect we will be discussing under the geoeconomic dimension. Okay, so this is the dimensions with respect to foreign policy. Okay, so the first basic dimension. Now the next, if you see, let me show you the world map here, so that you can yeah, I think I'm not able to get the world map. Just wait a minute. I will be getting the world map. Yeah, 1 minute, just 1 minute. Here it is. Yeah, I will be sharing the screen. Here you can see it better. Okay, see this now. If you see the world map here, then let me use the pen so that you can understand this better. Yeah. See, we use words like immediate neighborhood, immediate neighborhood. Second one is extended neighborhood. Extended neighborhood. Okay, so immediate means those who are close to us. If you take the case of India, who are the immediate neighbors of India? All the South Asian countries. Okay, so extended neighbors means, so this region, suppose for example, if you divide the world into different regions, so if you see here, this whole region is what we call the East Asian region. Okay, so and this whole region, what we call this as Southeast Asian region. This is East Asian region. Okay, so we have what we call this whole region. Sorry. Yeah, this whole region, what we call this as Latin America. Okay, so and we know this America, and we have here in the Northern America, we have specific relations with Canada and with USA. And here we have, suppose for example, with Africa, again we have single policy for the whole Africa. But again, if you see here the Gulf, this is what we call as West Asia. Okay, West Asian region. So here what we call this region, what we call that as Central Asia. Okay, then we have our whole the policy with the European Union, EU. Okay, then we have another player here, the major player with Russia. So if you are dealing with any one country or with a group of countries, so we will go with the region. Suppose for example, if I am dealing with an African country, I will go with my policy towards African countries. If I'm dealing with Central Asia, again, for the Central Asian region, why Central Asian region is strategically important for India? Okay, so at the same time, in what way India should always maintain its influence in the Central Asian region? It's immediately what you should remember these areas. like these countries like Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. So these are all of the Central Asian countries. Okay. So to understand the foreign policy better, you should always imagine the country. Suppose, for example, South Asian region. South Asian region means immediately you should remember all the South Asian countries. Okay. Pakistan, and we have Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives. Okay. So in that way, the segregation happens. So after segregation, now if you see, next is what we will be having is like, and suppose, for example, now let's come to the South Asia. Okay, because South Asia means here we have the immediate neighborhood. Okay, so there with each specific country we have certain challenges. Okay, so before going into the challenges with the neighborhood, before I am explaining about the neighborhood challenges, let me explain the recent factors which actually created challenges with our neighbors. Suppose, for example, here neighbors means these are the countries we take. Suppose, for example, Pakistan, we have Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and we have here Maldives, Sri Lanka. Okay, and we have here Myanmar, Afghanistan, and we have this China. Okay, so along with that, suppose, for example, if you say maritime, we have Thailand and Indonesia. Okay, so if you see maritime boundaries mean maritime. So if you take the maritime boundaries, here we have Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Maldives. And if you take land boundaries, here we have Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, we have China, and we have Myanmar, and we have a very small border with Afghanistan. Okay, but that's also in this controversial place. So that's why, so right now we are accessing Afghanistan only via the sea. Via Pakistan we can reach Afghanistan, but Pakistan is not allowing us. So that's why via Iran we are getting access to Afghanistan. Okay, so to understand this with each specific country, the recent issues. Now let us see the recent common factors. Then we'll come for country by country. So first note down the factors. These are the common factors. Because of these factors in the recent past, we are seeing the changes. One is we have the historical. Okay, with respect to Pakistan, with respect to Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. If you take any of the Indian neighbors, we have a substantial historical factor for this. Suppose, for example, take the case of Pakistan. If you take the case of Pakistan, the present relations, what kind of relations we have with Pakistan, so we have a historical background for that. So along with these historical factors, we have another factor, what we call that as domestic factors. Okay. After domestic, we will be having the regional factors. Okay. So after regional, we will be having the global factors. So after that, our own image. Our own image. So now, first, if you see the historical factors. What are the historical factors? We will discuss one by one. We will take country by country, then we will just explain. Okay. Before that, if you see domestic factors means the recent two domestic factors. One is Citizenship Amendment Act, and second one, this Article 370. These two recent initiatives, okay, these two recent initiatives, they have their foreign policy impact with respect to our neighbors. Because if you take the case of Article 370, okay, here we have an issue with Pakistan. If you take the case of Citizenship Amendment Act, there the what you call the minorities of BAP, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Pakistan, minorities from these three countries, okay, if they comes to India, they will be granted citizenship. Okay. But when the minority issue comes up, so why India wants to grant citizenship to these minorities? Because these minorities are being exploited, they are being sidelined, they are being harassed by the majority. Okay. So as a we are just providing a kind of helping hand to our neighboring people, because we feel like they have a historical connection with us. That's why we are welcoming them back. This is what the government said. But what these countries, suppose for example, if you take the case of Bangladesh, see this Citizenship Amendment Act, it created some kind of challenge or some kind of strains in the relationship between India and Bangladesh. Okay. So because Bangladesh is feeling like, okay, we are exploiting or we are harassing the minorities. So that's why India is doing this. Okay. Same is the case with Pakistan. Though Afghanistan, within Afghanistan also we have seen some protests. People protested against the Citizenship Amendment Act. Pakistan will definitely oppose this. There is no doubt. At the same time, if you take the case of Pakistan, in Pakistan we have a minorities called as Ahmadiyas. Okay, so these Ahmadiyas in Pakistan right now, they are not being considered as Muslims. Though they are Muslims, they are not being considered as Muslims. Okay, so they are also minorities in Pakistan, but they are not provided citizenship. Only the non-Muslim minorities. The non-Muslim minorities, they provided citizenship. So this is the recent issue that created this challenge. Okay. So along with this, we have the regional factor, means here we have the factor of China. The China factor. Okay. Global means here we have the factor of USA. Okay. And our own image means the way we are tackling our neighbors. Suppose, for example, in the recent past, in Nepal, there is a wave against India, especially among the Nepali youth. Okay. The reason, they are feeling like India dominating them. Suppose, take the case of Sri Lanka. When Mahendra Rajapaksa lost the election to Maithripala Sirisena, the previous president, okay, before handing over power to the present president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Okay, so in the 2015 elections of Sri Lanka, many in Sri Lanka felt like India meddled into the elections of Sri Lanka. India influenced the elections of Sri Lanka. That's why Maithripala Sirisena won the elections. Okay. Same thing, if you take the case of Maldives, the same issue. Okay. From the last 10 years, you can take, the relationship with Maldives is actually going in a very tumultuous way. Tumultuous means it's not stable. It's keep on changing. It's very fluctuating. Okay. So our own image within the neighbors. Okay. So that's also creating some kind it's creating some challenge to us. some of the initiatives. So one by one, we'll discuss all these factors. Okay. Now, let us see all the country by country. We have what are the major challenges we have with these countries. So now you can take first. You can take Pakistan. You know, we have, because I am just giving the overview. I will not go into the nitty-gritties of it, all the details. With Pakistan, the first and foremost challenge is border, because we have a border conflict with them. Second one is terrorism. Okay, so these two are the, one is the border conflict, second one is this export of terrorism. Okay, especially by using the by brainwashing the people. Okay, so these two are the two major challenges. At the same time, if India takes any decision, definitely Pakistan will oppose that, because now Pakistan wants to strengthen its relationship with China. They became all-weather good friends. Okay, so with respect to Pakistan, we will be having the eternal challenge. In the recent past, it further got intensified. The recent initiatives of the government, suppose for example, take the case of Article 370. Article 370 provided an opportunity for Pakistan to make this as a very big we could able to pacify this, but still it provided an opportunity for Pakistan to further exploit this, to further strengthen its relationship with China. Okay, so with Pakistan, we no need to discuss much, because the challenges are there. They will be continuously there, because neither India nor Pakistan got ready for the talks. So we are telling to Pakistan like terror and talks, they will not go together. If you want to go for the talk, stop the terror. Okay, but this is not happening. So India is saying like this also won't happen. If you can't stop the terror, there won't be any talks. So in the recent past, especially after 2016, relations got further strained. Okay, now they are at their lowest ebb. If you see the wave like this, so as of now, they are at this position. Okay, so if this is the graph, so this is the position right now, at the lowest ebb. Okay, so that is first with Pakistan. Next, if you see, you can take next one is Nepal. With respect to Nepal, also in the recent past, we have seen. In the recent past, we have seen with Nepal issues like, we have this recently, we have seen this Kalapan issue. Okay, and within Nepal, the rising wave against India, anti-India. So for that, so what the Nepalis are feeling is like India showing its dominance character. Suppose for example, if you take the case of hydro projects, so Nepal is saying like, so India is paying less to us and taking more from us. So we are facing environmental challenges, but India is getting power out of it. Okay, so at the same time, recently when the constitutional change took place, the new constitution got formed in 2014. Okay, so India wants some of its points to be taken. Okay, but the Nepali government is not ready for that. There is an issue called the Madeshi. This Madesh issue. Madesh. So this Nepali government is not ready for that. So eventually we have to go for what we call this as blockade. So we stopped exporting goods and essentials to the to Nepal. So that created a huge challenge for Nepal, and it further strained the relations. Along with that, we have the factor called as China, because Nepal got sandwiched between two big powers, India and China. Okay, so on one side these issues are there, on the other side the China as a factor, further creating distance between Nepal and India. So in the recent past, Nepal is actually turning against India. So we have seen the way the Nepalese reacted, okay, to the Kalapan issue when we added them into our territory. When we shown the map adding the Kalapan into our territory, and Nepal eventually wants to pass a bill in the parliament to incorporate those territories into Nepal, the Kalapan region. Okay, so this is with respect to Nepal. Okay, next if you take Bangladesh, if you take the case of Bangladesh, because why I haven't taken Bhutan, with Bhutan as a country we do not have any challenges with it. If you take Bhutan, with Bhutan we do not have any challenges. The only thing with Bhutan is China, because China and Bhutan got the disputes, the land issue. China wants some kind of bilateral talks with Bhutan for the land exchange, so that the Doklam Plateau, the near region, can be taken over by China. If the Doklam Plateau and the near region, this Doklam Plateau, if this region, if it is being taken by China, then China will come very strategically close to India. Okay. So for that, China is trying hard to have a border, to have these talks with Bhutan, but Bhutan is not accepting that. Okay, so that is one of the fact. The China is the major factor for India Bhutan, but except that we do not have any much of strains in the relationship. But if you take the case of Bangladesh, till recent past, Bangladesh things are going in a very smooth manner. Okay, after signing off the land boundary agreement, if you take the case of Bangladesh, in the recent past, after signing off this 2015 land boundary agreement, okay, for this exchange of enclaves. So enclaves means the Indian lands in Bangladesh and Bangladesh lands in India. So relationship is actually going in a very smooth manner, especially between the two prime ministers. But the recent CAA, the Citizenship Amendment Act, so it created some kind of political issue even within the Bangladesh, because the Bangladesh opposition trying to utilize this as an opportunity. So the ruling party also does not want to give a chance to the opposition. Okay, so it has to maintain some distance. Recently, there was a saying in Bangladesh media, Indian diplomats trying to reach the prime minister. Okay, but she is not providing appointment. So that means they want to maintain for a time being. They want to maintain some distance. Okay, so our domestic issue creating a challenge to the bilateral relationship. See how domestic factors also will be responsible for challenges in for international relations. This is one example. With respect to Bangladesh, what exactly happening? Okay. Next, if you take the case of Sri Lanka, with Sri Lanka in the recent past, we do not have any much of challenge. But with respect to Sri Lanka also, the recent challenge is definitely China. China is a major factor, because though we have a cultural connections, with Sri Lanka, with all our neighbors, we have the cultural connections. But in the recent past, the economic factors by the rise of China, Okay. And its investments in the neighbors. Okay. So this is creating a challenge for us because neighbors also wants to develop on par with India, but India is not fulfilling their promises. So they are getting the investments from China. So it's a win-win situation for our neighbor and for China. It's only a win-lose situation for China and India. China gaining the what you call strategic control of India's neighbors. Okay, China gaining strategic. You can use this word. China gaining strategic control of India's neighbors. Okay, but India could not able to do the same back to China. We tried with Vietnam, we tried with Philippines, but the way China is able to invest and influence, but we could not able to do that. So in Sri Lanka, this is also again a challenge. Okay, then so along with the, after that we have this Maldives. Maldives also same, the political parties, because they want to get the investments from China and they're using this the political issue, the ruling party and the opposition. So one will support India, one will support China. Okay, so like that with all our neighbors, we have we are continuously having these challenges. Though Modi government, while coming to power, came with a policy called as neighbors first. Neighbors first policy. So under the neighborhood first policy, initially we tried to strengthen the SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, established in the year 1985. Okay, so it tried to strengthen its relations with its neighbors in the name of the neighborhood first policy, but within 2 years, okay, things started becoming very like going in a very different direction. It expected one thing, then the other thing started happening. Starts with Pakistan. The state starts with the Pulwama attack. Okay, so though we tried with our neighborhood first policy, but in the recent past, our domestic factors like Article 370 and Citizenship Amendment Act, they started creating the challenges. So along with that, everywhere I'm mentioning China as the factor. And in the third factor is USA. In the recent past, USA also playing as a very crucial factor for India. Okay, so because of that, India has to change some its relationship. Suppose, for example, take the case of China. China, why recently it has to like come for standoff with India along the LAC, the Galvan Valley incident. So there is a long picture, there is a big picture here. What is the big picture here? So China, it wants to showcase its image. At the same time, in the recent past, USA, India coming closer. Okay, so it wants to showcase to USA also that, see, to what extent I'm capable, what I can do to India. So without the approval of the top command, the top commanders of army of China, the recent incursions will not happen. That too for these many days. Okay, that too killing the Indian, killing of these Indian soldiers. Okay, so here the US is the major factor, but we have our own compulsions. What you call to be in close with the USA. Okay, so we have our own reasons because we want to strengthen our military capacity. So US is a superpower, okay, both politically and economically. And after the 1991 liberalization, LPG reforms, so we do not have any option So we have to take the line of USA. Later, the relationship got further strengthened. Suppose, for example, if you take the case of India-USA relations, okay, you can think in the dimensions like political, under political, military, okay, nuclear, people-to-people relations, okay, and under economic, what we have is the trade. Okay, so in the recent past, so we have in economic we have challenges with USA, but when it comes to military relations, nuclear and people to people in the recent past we are having challenges when the Trump came into picture, the H-1B visas. Okay, but in the military and nuclear we are becoming closer. We are becoming very much closer. Suppose, for example, USA, whenever USA starts maintaining military relations with any other country, it signs 4 agreements. Okay, so these 4 agreements indicates USA's relationship with other countries. They are GSOMIA and LIMOA, COMCASA, and BICA. These are total 4. So I'm writing all these 4 agreements here. GSOMIA means General Security of Military Information Agreement. So we signed this in the year 2002. USA signed this agreement with India in the year 2002. Then we have LIMOA, Logistics Exchange and Memorandum of Agreement. This is LIMOA. And the third is what we call COMCASA, Communications Compatibility and Security Agreement. And the last one is BICA. BICA means, I'm writing here, BICA, Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement. This we haven't signed yet. The rest of the 3 agreements we signed. Okay, so LIMOA 2016 and COMCASA 2018. 3 agreements we signed. The first one we signed is, this is a basic agreement. So to start the relation, to start the military relations, USA signed this particular agreement. So basic exchange of basic military information. The next one is LIMOA. LIMOA means is the next to the GSOMIA. It means if the US ships comes to India, if the US military ships comes to near to the coast of India, then we will provide them the they can halt here, they can come, we can have this kind of naval exercises, this exchange of this logistics. If they have any issue here, we will cooperate with them. At the same time, they will also allow us, our naval ships, to operate there, okay, to stay there. So this is what we call a logistic exchange and memorandum of agreement. exchange of this logistics, military logistics. The third one is COMCAS. COMCAS means communications compatibility and security agreement. So this is for intelligence sharing of intelligence. Okay, so if there is any sensitive issue, both need cooperation for this, that we both should cooperate. So this, the recent one we signed in 2018. Okay, and the final one is BICA, Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement. This we haven't signed because under which we have to share some of our maps. USA will say some of its non-strategic civilian maps. We also have to share. So, but India as of now having security concerns with that, so that's why we did not sign. But we signed 3 agreements, so that indicates how much more futuristic we are to strengthen our relationship with the USA. But this strengthening relationship with USA also creating a distance with some of the members. Take the case of China. Previously, okay, there used to be USA, there used to be China. We used to maintain a balance. But now we are becoming closer and closer with the USA and its allies, like Japan. Okay. So because of our closeness with these countries, it is creating distance between China. This in turn creating a challenge to our neighborhood. Okay. So these are political one at the regional level. At the regional level, why we have these challenges with our neighbors? China is a factor. Our own historical factors are there. Our own image with our neighbors, and USA as a factor. Okay. So along with this, we also have this trade. Take the case of trade at regional level. If you take the trade at regional level, see here, South Asia, see the statistics. South Asian trade, South Asian regional trade, 5% of the global trade. See, we have the world's 2nd largest populated country, and we have the world's 7th largest country in size, India, and the surrounding countries. With huge population, but still see the percentage of regional trade in the global trade share, just 5%. Okay. So at the same time, intra-trade, what we call that as? Intra-trade means within the South Asian region. Intra-trade, if you see, if you take the case of East Asia, if you take East Asia, the intra means within the region. Intra means within the region. East Asia, the intra-trade is, the intra-regional trade is 50%. 50. In Sub-Saharan Africa, the regional trade 22%. In South Asia, how much you can expect? Just 5.6. 5.6, that means, suppose if India is trading with its neighbors, okay, the overall intra-regional trade, if you see, it is just 5.6%. That means all the neighbors trading with other countries, they're not trading among themselves. Okay. So India trades with India. How? India trades with Pakistan. Pakistan trades with India. How? Pakistan will not trade with India directly because we have a strained relations. What Pakistan will do? Pakistan will sell the goods via the Dubai, via UAE. Okay. Though we know that there is a demand at the regional level, but we are not encouraging the regional trade. Okay. But let me give you another point here. So if you see trade in South Asia, within South Asia, if you see India, how much it is contributing? 24 billion. Within South Asia, India's trade contributing 24 billion. This is India this is India's contribution to the South Asian trade. This is China's contribution. See how much India, South Asian region means we consider as our own. There we are contributing 24%, China contributing 60%. So it means our trade also very much low. So finally, in conclusion, what we can argue? If you want to strengthen the relations with the neighbors, then we have to manage all the factors. China factor we have to manage. USA factor we have to manage. Our own image. Our own image, like we won't finish the projects timely. We are interfering into their internal affairs. This should be changed. Okay, regional trade should be encouraged. Okay, regional connectivity should be encouraged. We have the SAFTA, South Asian Free Trade Area. So there will be very less customs duties. We have this agreement in the year 2006, signed in 2004, but implemented from 2006. But the regional trade is just 5%. If you take the case of the global trade. So that's why we have to strengthen the trade. For that, we have to effectively implement the SAFTA. We have to improve the regional connectivity. Okay. So we have these issue things like BBIN, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal. What you call, it's a kind of agreement. So through which there will be a connectivity. So for the movement of vehicles. And we have this, what is that? Yeah. Along with, we also want to further strengthen with our extended neighbors. We have this BIMSTEC. In the recent past, we are strengthening this Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral, technical and economic cooperation. So as to strengthen our relations with the Southeast Asian countries via Myanmar. So like that, if you are able to take all the factors into consideration, then the foreign policy will maintain the stability. We also by maintaining that stability, it can further progress. Okay. So with that note, I'm ending the topic. Thank you.